Hanging around after last orders. Still so far from
Hi
home.
Pisces, and welcome to the February 2025 horoscope. I am giving away a free reading. If you would like to enter the giveaway, leave a comment down below about your hopes and dreams for 2025. The giveaway is open until February 14th, and I will announce the winner in a future video, as well as posting it over on the community tab on my channel. Overall, February is a breath of fresh air, especially considering the tensions that we had in January and what is to come for us in March and April. So I have plenty of amazing aspects to share with you today, and I hope that we all get some good vibes going in the month ahead. We start off on February 1st with a conjunction between Venus and Neptune, which for you Pisces is happening in your first house. Venus and Neptune are also conjunct the North Node. Because this is happening in your first house, Pisces, you might especially be feeling the good vibes from this conjunction. And you might find that it has an effect on your confidence. It has an effect on the way you present yourself to the world. And you might find that others are seeing you in a much more positive light and seeing you as somebody much more charismatic, acceptable, lovable even. We are talking about Venus and Neptune after all. These types of feelings could continue for another 6 days, and this is because the conjunction with Neptune and the North Node doesn't get exact until later in February, on February 6th to be exact. And the good vibes keep on coming because a couple of days later, on February 4th, we have Jupiter going direct, and on that same day, we also have Venus entering the sign of Aries. Let's talk about Jupiter first. For you, Pisces, Jupiter is going direct in your fourth house. Jupiter is your chart ruler. So therefore, you might especially feel a feeling of lightness once Jupiter goes direct. And because it's in your fourth house of family and home, you might find that things just tend to flow a lot easier in that area. There maybe are more opportunities coming your way, opportunities to connect with your family, opportunities to maybe make your home a better, more suitable place for you. On the same day, we have Venus entering Aries. And for you Pisces, that's your second house. Venus doesn't feel very comfortable in Aries, but with it entering in your second house, you might find that you're feeling a bit more extravagant, a bit more generous with your money. You might also feel a burst of self-confidence coming your way with Venus in your second house. Be very mindful not to overspend and be over generous, as sometimes that can happen with Venus in the second house. And don't forget that this is the house where Venus will go retrograde. That will happen at the beginning of March, so we will talk about it then. But Venus in your second house is going to stay there for a while, so be very mindful, very observant of the topics that are coming up for you from the 4th of February, because these might be the topics that are also front and center during the Venus retrograde that is upcoming in March. On February 9th, we have Mars trining Saturn, with Saturn in your first house and Mars in your fifth house. Mars is still retrograde during this trine. And what could be happening for you Pisces is that the frustrations you've been experiencing when it comes to your self-expression, maybe whenever you've been trying to pick up a hobby or enjoy your time, go to a party, things have gotten canceled or your plans have gotten changed. All of those frustrations might be supporting you in some way in becoming a more aligned, expressive person, a person whose outer appearance and outer behaviors and actions are actually really aligned with who they are on the inside. And it might be difficult to grasp, such a big concept, but an example of this would be Painting. You love to paint. And during this Mars retrograde, perhaps you haven't had the time to do that. Maybe things have just been going wrong. You haven't been able to, maybe when you sit down and paint, you haven't been able to enjoy it. But because of these frustrations, because of the ability not to be able to do this hobby that you love, you are figuring out that this is actually a really integral part of you and who you are. It's helping you narrow down what are the parts of your identity, what are the parts of you that are important to you and that you want to make sure that are always with you. On February 12th, we have a full moon in the sign of Leo in your 6th house. The full moon is squaring Uranus, so be very mindful of taking any sudden actions that you might regret later. Specifically, Uranus is in your 3rd house, so be very careful about what you communicate and how you communicate it. Be very careful not to say something abruptly in the heat of the moment that you later end up regretting. And because this is a full moon in your 6th house, we are looking at you reaping what you sowed when it comes to your health and your routine. I'm going to post a more in-depth video around this full moon closer to the date. So if you want to make sure you catch that horoscope, then make sure you subscribe. Then on February 18th, we have the sun entering Pisces, or your 1st house. Pisces, with this shift of the zodiac sign, you are going to probably feel a lot lighter, a lot more like yourself, a lot more energetic and excited to get out of bed in the mornings. And you might find that it's a lot easier to express yourself as well, to really show your true self when you interact with others. And I hope you enjoy it. Then on the 24th of February, we have the long-awaited Mars going direct. Pisces, I don't know if maybe you have been one of the signs that has been feeling this quite a bit. I wouldn't think so because it's in the 5th house. It's not really an angular house, but depending on what other placements you have, where your sun, your moon are, for example, you might have felt this Mars retrograde. So you are probably very happy to hear that it's finally going direct. As we chatted earlier, Mars is retrograde in your 5th house, and now will be going direct in your 5th house. So you might find it a lot more easier from this day onwards to actually have fun, do things that bring you joy, that make your day-to-day life that much more exciting. And finally, we close off the month on February 28th with a new moon in Pisces in your 1st house. There are a lot of planets currently or during this new moon in Pisces. So we will have the sun and the moon, Neptune and Saturn are still there, and so is the North Node. So your 1st house is definitely going to be activated, Pisces. This new moon will be squaring Jupiter in your 4th house. So just be very careful that you're not overdoing it when it comes to topics such as your home or your family and maybe even your inner work. Be careful that you're not letting your family overstep their boundaries. Be careful that you're not investing so much time into your home that you forget to go outside and interact with others. Be careful not to overdo the internal work, that sometimes you forget to take action, to step out and do things as well. And I think especially for you Pisces, because this new moon is in your 1st house, this is a new inspired start, a new chapter for you where you can continue to act more aligned to who you are, continue to represent and show yourself in ways that are much more aligned with you. It's this idea of if you're somebody that has always acted shy, with others or in front of others, but inside you don't feel that way. You're not a shy person. You're charismatic and excited and curious. This could be a really nice chapter, for example, to merge those two together, to allow your inner world to shine into the outer world. I could talk way more about this new moon, and I will when I post a detailed new moon horoscope video closer to the new moon. So if you want to make sure you catch that one, Pisces, make sure you subscribe. So Pisces, that is your horoscope for February 2025. You have a lot of first house action, so you might find that there are a lot of external events that are presenting for you during this time. And we talked about your second and fourth house as well, so money and family might be front and center too. I hope you enjoy the month. Don't forget to enter the free reading giveaway by leaving your comment down below. And I hope to see you again soon.